Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, it is I am the one and only Mario here, and I am Luigi here. We are from the likes of the Maxi Toys videos, as always. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of Mario Super Sluggers for the Nintendo Wii/Nintendo Wii U downloadable version. Well, its only existence in Japan and North America, as you probably already noticed right from the get-go. So yeah, last time, we have basically managed able to start things off in challenge mode by going through Mario Stadium to able to recruit certain characters to build up our teammates, just in case we need able to get more characters before we take on Bowser Jr., but of course I'll explain more details on the moments later. And today for this video is about the fact that we're about to be going on to the next stadium, which takes place in Peach Ice Garden. So because of this though, yeah, as a result of that kind of stuff though, I'm very curious to know of what certain stadiums this is going to be like, especially noticeable about the fact that unlike any forms of how it does it on Mario Superstar Baseball, that basically does about the fact that it does manage to take place in Peach's Castle or something like that, whilst in here though, it's now got Ice Garden. So because of this though, I mean, what is this like? Kind of a similar thing as the forms of the original Sonic Riders, where basically they do manage to able to have Ice Factory of, you know, the alternated track based off from Egg Factory from Sonic Riders, but that's for discussion for a later day. So but either way though, and it looks like we bump into Toad, so because of this though, because about the fact that something is about to happen. So because of this though, yeah, as you can tell about the fact that today's date of course there is the 4th of June today, in this case in 2023 today. Well, not much else to talk about I'm afraid, apart from the fact that we stumbled across into certain news articles recently, although we're not going to explain things that much though, because as you can see, Princess Daisy's got turned into a statue thanks to Bowser Jr. Oh jeez, that could be something more related to the forms of cockatrice or something like that. Well, keep this in mind though, Mario, is about the fact that this particular game came out 2 years before My Little Pony Friendship is Magic exists. Oh, right, exactly. Especially because about the fact that obviously cockatrice, you know, the creature from the Everfree Forest, does have the ability to able to turn everything into statues. So, but either way though, I get ahead of myself. So either way though, so it looks like we can't do anything on this point right here, because as you can see, these entire fountain has been flooded, so we need to figure something out. But of course we need to talk to Toadette first, because obviously in order to able to progress, we need to solve a puzzle. Specifically, we need to able to place the actual the hedges on the actual correct spots, to be more specifically Toad Flower Garden. So because of that though, yeah, we got able to sort this out. So either way though, in order to progress. So either way, yeah, let's talk about the forms of certain discussions we'd like to point things out, is that, exponentially speaking, when it comes to future videos, for the sake of the forms of this game in particular, every once in a while it's going to get a little bit more lengthy at this point, especially because, as we already stated this earlier, this will be a full 100% completion playthrough of Mario Super Sluggers, mainly because of the forms of all the characters we need to recruit, and on top of that, with the forms of certain unlockables needs to be addressed, and you probably name the rest of the forms of this entire playthrough is going to be like. So because of this though, that's essentially how we're going to be focusing on. So either way though, oh yeah, so let's talk about the forms about the fact that when it comes to DVD releases update as far as this is concerned, basically we actually had a grand total of like 4 DVDs coming up for it. Well, technically speaking, also the forms of the Blu-ray releases as well. Oh yeah, I totally forgot about that. But as a result, the only films they do have are, let's just say Avatar: The Way of Water, and on top of that there's also Zuzam, Fury of the Gods, and also on top of that with the forms of other 2 films, I would like to mention about this in a moment. Because of that though, as you can see, we've now got 9 characters into our teammates right now. So of course Like2 is going to tell us about the fact that we can now able to challenge Bowser Jr. whatever you like it will be, but we're not going to do that just yet, because obviously we need something tough and strong and aggressive more like. So because of this though, yeah, it's kind of similar system as the forms of how it does it in The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, or potentially speaking with The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, that you can either decide able to tackle through the final frontier earlier on, but of course we're not gonna do that just yet. So either way though. So relatively speaking though, about the fact that as far as you probably already expect, that obviously we decided to take a break on The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom for a while, presumably until next month, I can assure you for this point, because obviously since that Pac-Man is already working on Pac-Man World Repack, which I think we've already pointed this out, since and during the forms in yesterday's video. So because of this though, yeah, basically though is about the fact that we got a lot of progressioning for the sake of the forms of The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Well, as far as the forms of the story progression goes, I think we basically almost finished with the actual story progression. So, although mind you, there's still a whole lot of gem-packed full of content we have to go through. Like, to be more specifically, the returning Kurok seeds, and my god, there's gonna be a lot of it this time around, so yeah, that'll be discussion for later day. So in some cases though, here we go with this next mission right here, where basically we need to get hit for about 3 times, and because of that though, you don't want to let those computer AI trying to catch the ball, because otherwise, if we get out, that did not count at all. So because of this though, sometimes though, it requires a lot of timing situation right here. So but either way though, although keep this in mind though, we did somehow manage to able to practice the controls for this game for our own time for a bit, just in case about the fact that we could potentially try to able to, well, just, you know, get back into this game more often, especially because, well, again, summer does remind us like when we play Mario Super Sluggers from time to time, especially because we always enjoy playing baseball, especially concerning about the fact that during the course of both Sonic movies, there's a lot of baseball stuff going on, especially because you know when he forms up in the first film, that basically does about the fact that Sonic, he's playing baseball all by alone, and then obviously it's hard to explain really, because I know for a fact it's been a very long while since we've last watched the Sonic the Hedgehog the movie, since back in the forms of it a couple of months ago. So but either way though, because chances are though everyone else seems to prefer the second film over the first one. Well, nothing bad or anything, it's just that, well, they just had a lot more action on the second film. So I would imagine that the third film will come into play, and basically though, it will has a gem-packed full of action-packed moments, so yeah, I know that. So anyway, in terms of the forms of the release schedule for, you know, as I mentioned this before with Avatar The Way of Water, that on DVD and Blu-ray is going to be releasing. Now, we already know from the fact that, well, presumably until 2 days' time, I think anyway, that basically though is about the fact that the Disney Plus release is already getting Avatar The Way of Water, which we might give that film a chance, but I highly doubt, I don't know if I can able to enjoy it as much as I would have liked to will be. But on top of all that stuff though, is that basically, in terms of the DVD release of Avatar The Way of Water, I think it's going to be releasing at some point by the end of June. To be more specifically, the 26th of June. So that's roughly about 3 days after the release of Sonic Origins Plus, for not only for its DLC expansion pack, but also with the forms of well, to be more specifically, in terms of the forms of... Oh, okay, I guess that make it count, I guess. So, anyway, though... Oh, you were thinking about the physical release of the forms of Sonic Origins Plus, aren't you? Yeah, that's what I was thought to myself about just trying to say things like that. So, but either way, though... Yeah, again, if you get out on this particular... mission right here, obviously it still doesn't count. So in some cases though, well basically as you can see, we need to do a bit of a bunting thing right there, because otherwise if you do bunt, then basically you should able to let the ball just go into the shortest distance or something relates to that. So, and there we go, mission clear. So, relatively speaking though, about the fact that, speaking of Toadette though, is that back in the forms within 2008, that I can't believe about the fact that that was actually the last time you were able to actually see, not only see Toadette, but also play as Toadette until before 2014 roll around, where basically they'll bring back Toadette as playable character from not only from Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U, but also with the forms of Mario Golf World Tour, to be more specifically for one of those DLC content. So, but then again though, it's a shame that you can no longer get the Toadette's playable character during the course of Mario Golf World Tour, sadly, because, you know, eShop is dead. Unless if you do manage able to pull up with the actual hacking to your 3DS, but either way though, that'll be discussion for later day. So, but either way, at least on the upside, we do get Toadette, thanks to the forms of Mario Golf Super Rush, but again, it's a shame about the fact that it's locked out behind the stupid free update situation and all that stuff, but who cares about that, because obviously about the fact that at least in this game, does give you a special condition for able to unlock characters, so at least that's that. Although I highly doubt about the fact that I could assure you, once the new Mario Baseball game is going to be on the Switch, it might able to do the exactly same situation as any other Mario Sports stuff as far as this is concerned. So, yeah, which I'm not super surprised about though, but either way though, that'll be a topic until whenever when that game is going to be announced during that time. So, I mean, by the way, something's worth noting for, you have to do a specific buddy move right there to get out, because otherwise, if you press the B button at the right moment, then basically you can able to actually deliver the actual baseball itself right at your teammate, and then you have to time your swing shot at the right moment, and then that way you can get an out like that. So, yeah, because whenever I think if I recall correctly, whenever I first got to this point, back in 2017, that I seemed able to get stuck on this point for the longest amount of time, until I've realized about the fact that the B button will be activated as diving maneuvering or something like that. Even though it's hard to explain, because it's been about quite a few hours ago since we've actually last played this game for sure, especially because, like we said this before, this is going to be only uploaded on weekends department, so as a result, yep, we did did this no problem, so... And also, if those of you probably wondering what the difference is between the Japanese version of this game, alongside with the American version of the game, is that obviously with the Lakitu's voice clips is actually sound a little bit different, depending on what region you lived in. It could be either sound a little bit different in the Japanese version, so, but either way though, it's been a very long time since I actually looked upon the Japanese version of Mario Super Sluggers as the gameplay footage itself, so, but either way though, that might be kind of a fruition or so, something like that. So, anyway, so the next film, as far as what Mario is gonna say, is that, you know, with the films of that film called Zuzam, Fury of the Gods, basically the DVD release is gonna be releasing until tomorrow for the UK's release. So because of that though, yeah, and it's gonna be releasing at some point on the 5th of June, which is roughly tomorrow. So, yeah, it doesn't take that long to kind of think about it. And on top of that, the next DVD release is listed on the UK's release, and this time what appears to be John Wick Chapter 4, where basically that film is going to be releasing until about a week later, which appears to be June the 12th, so but either way though, not much else to on about that. So, and finally, most notably, is the films of Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves. I think it's going to be releasing at some point by the end of the films of July. So, but either way though, well, at least as far as I can definitely tell for this point. Unfortunately though, still no luck of the films of my Super Mario Bros. Movie yet, but my guess is that it's going to be releasing at some point, possibly in July or August, just like the films of how it does in Sonic the Hedgehog 2, from the likes of in last year. So, but either way. Alright, so here we go with this next mission, where basically we need to get out, because obviously we need to deal with that hammer bro right there. So, but either way though, because if we do get out, then we should able to continue proceedings. And unfortunately though, we somehow failed the singular mission so far. But that's okay though, because we were able to still get another chance by do that. So, there we go. So, another thing is worth noting for is about the fact that in the past few weeks or so, that they did say about the fact that there's going to be a rumor that there is actually by the forms of the new Hot Wheels game is going to be on its way for the Nintendo Switch. But as it turns out, it became true during the forms of some time ago. And as a result, the new Hot Wheels game is going to be on its way for the Nintendo Switch, as well as the forms of possibly multi-platforms as well. And that's what appears to be Hot Wheels Unleashed 2 turbocharged. So because of that though, yeah, that's what I can really say about it, especially because I totally get it about the fact that Hot Wheels is actually a lot popular, so, well honestly though, it's about the fact that we weren't really into the forms of Hot Wheels stuff as much as the next guy, but Then again though, I'm biased I guess. So, but either way though, so now we've actually got the red variation of Toad right here, so we should be able to get multicolored Toads by then. Although, as you can tell about the fact that in order able to actually get other colored Toads, I think something tells me about the fact that we can able to get our another captain eventually. But first off, we need to go ahead and go back to Toadsworth, so just in case we can able to place Daisy's statue onto this little pedestal right there. So because of that though, yeah, let's just go ahead and place that onto that particular pedestal, so at least we don't have to deal with the phones that particular motion control scenario, and that way we should able to actually allows us to able to go into that fountain place. So either way though, that should be all good, all things considered. And on top of all that stuff though is about the fact that, oh geez, it looks like Bowser Jr. just somehow got Princess Peach kidnapped. So because of that though, we need to rescue her once again, ever since in Super Mario Sunshine days. Although except the fact that Bowser Jr. doesn't seem able to go in disguise as in Shadow Mario or anything else like that. So speaking of such though, we're able to unlock Toadsworth as our teammate, and now we can able to actually access the shop at any point. So, and there's that little question mark thing right there, which again will point things out until later. So, but either way though, in terms of anything else we could possibly describe, I think we'll save that conversation once we get the extra selections of missions that we can obviously go into. So, but either way though, yeah, let's just go ahead and take on Bowser Jr. for the second time. And unlike the Fonz it does it on the Mario Stadium portion, where basically though is about the fact that we can only do that particular mission, in here though, I think something tells me we're about to go for a proper match. Like specifically, we need to win the game, because otherwise if we lose the game, we have to keep trying again. So because of this though, yeah, let's just go ahead and set up our team right here. So either way though, I think we'll place Toadsworth right there, and of course we'll place Toad possibly right next to Toadsworth as well. Now I think we should be all set by then. So either way though, you can also set those specific field placements somewhat random, and of course you can also use the item selection here and there as well if you're so much more desire. But of course that's you can either change you know, the settings and all that stuff, but I think we should be fine as it is. So here we go, onto a proper match on the fronts of Peach Ice Garden. And right from the get-go, we're actually doing a heads and tails syndrome, where basically it's about the fact that every time we start the match, basically it does like a heads and tails kind of syndrome, where basically you have a choice to able to have batting or pitching to start with. So either way though, and luckily we have ourselves 2 bats on the actual like flip the coin or something like that, and basically though is about the fact that we're doing batting first. So but either way though, and then when it says like the fonts of the actual oh really? How was that count? That thing just got freezed up. Oh, that's unfair. So yeah, the main gimmick of the fonts of Peach Ice Garden, as you can tell, is that obviously it takes place in the inside portion of the actual thing itself, and basically it's going to be filled to the brim with those freezies that you have to avoid. And basically if you did touch the fonts of those freezies, if you couldn't tell already on the opening cutscene of the game, basically it just allows you to get freezed up. And because of that though, the only way you can break free is, I can assure to you, use items or something. But either way though, we haven't exactly paid that much attention to the actual visual standpoint. So, but either way though, and as you can see, we actually stumbled across the item system in this particular game. And basically though, since we're going to be using the Wiimote and Nunchuck combo, and basically what happens is that if you press the, let's just say the Z button or something, at least assuming if you have your Nunchuck with you, basically you can able to send an error item. That way you can do all sorts of things with this. So, but unfortunately though, we didn't get a single point on the very first inning right there. But hopefully we'll get ourselves the actual additional point during the forms of later periods or somewhat. So, although we would have liked able to use the actual the swing or specifically the star pitching or the star power move, but I think we'll probably have to save that until when it gets to certain points. So, and there we go, we got that chemic thing out. So, So, anyway, there's also another thing I should probably explain about this as well, is that, potentially speaking, that it's been about 1 year ago since when Pac-Man Museum Plus did somehow existence on modern consoles, which as a result of that kind of stuff though, yeah, time flies, you know? Yeah, especially concerning, well, from what I've looked upon new forms of Pac-Man Museum Plus on the Switch or multiple systems as far as I'm concerned, that basically, from what I've noticed, is that the actual model looks very similar to the forms of how it does in Pac-Man World Repack. That basically is about the fact that, well, I think something tells me about the fact that with Pac-Man Museum Plus, I think it's like a DLC expansion to the forms of Pac-Man Museum compilation game or something. Although, again, it's been a very long while since we actually mentioned something like this, especially because, well, as you can tell about the fact that I'm almost felt a little bit exhausted today, but hopefully we'll fetch some more juice until once we're done with this recording session, so... Anyway, so now we've got that particular thing out 3 times, and now we can able to go back to batting. So either way though, hopefully we'll get ourselves a singular point for this point, despite the fact that our timing is a little bit too unpredictable at points, mainly because of the forms of Bowser Jr.'s behaving for its pitching, so... However, I will admit though right away though, is that this game can get pretty difficult at times, similar to the forms of how it does it on Mario Superstar Baseball, that sometimes though, it's all about luck dependent on the forms of swinging your bat. And as a result though, depending on if you're able to actually do a very well good timing for the actual batting department, you never know if you're guaranteed able to actually just to get, you know, a flawless victory or something like that. So, but then again though, as far as what Mario has already mentioned about since in yesterday, there's also technically Mario Superstars, Mario Sports Superstars version of the actual baseball on the 3DS, and basically the Superstars version of the baseball sports on the 3DS is basically a watered down version of this, along with Mario Superstar Baseball, because of the forms of bare bones environment, and on top of that, I feel like that the Mario Sports Superstars version of baseball is probably the weakest sport in my opinion, especially because it's nowhere near as like chaotic and fun compared to the forms that this is. And on top of that stuff though is about the fact that, well, it's a shame you can't control with the forms of the field, or the fielders, as far as I meant to say, on the forms of Mario Sports Superstars for that particular point, because, well, it's just unpredictable, you know? And especially it doesn't help about the fact that the actual target reticle on the forms of that particular batting thing, you have to be so reliant on the forms of not only for its movement of the sensor, but also about the fact that it just feels unnatural to me. And especially it doesn't help about the fact that you're only going to be able to have small amount of captains, and on top of that, just small amount of characters and all that stuff, but that's the way of saying goes, so... Oh, jeez, this isn't good. Oh, that was close. Yeah, if we get a double play, then obviously we'll have to do pitching, so... Alright, come on, Toadsworth. Oh! You know what I found was a little bit fascinating is that basically between this and Mario Superstar Baseball, that's pretty awesome to see Toadsworth as a playable character, which as a result, it does feel pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. Even though it's a shame about the fact that Toadsworth does not return during the forms of the future Nintendo games nowadays, especially the last time we actually saw him in action was in Mario Luigi Bowser's Inside Story plus Bowser Jr.'s Journey for the 3DS, and that's about it basically. So as a result, we honestly have no idea what's happening to him these days. So, but either way, I did not mean to throw it onto the forms of that particular thing right there, but hopefully though we're able to get the another out, or just presumably the actual out that we're most likely hoping for, but it seems that we haven't gotten that much luck or anything else like that. But then again though, if you let one of the Bowser Jr. teams decides they're able to catch up with you, and then if we somehow let them win by 2 points, then we have to start the entire match again, so... Oh, that could be good. Oh, nice. That should be all good. We got ourselves a double play, so that should be all pretty swell. So I believe after this though, we can probably expect that we can able to go back to Mario Stadium, because after all, as soon as we're able to win this match, then not only we can able to continue proceedings to the next stadium, which I think the next stadium we're about to be going off to, which appears to be Yoshi Park, but as a result, yeah, that's as far as I can try to explain about this particular point. So yay, we somehow win the first match in Mario Super Sluggers, so how's that for that? Even though despite the fact that it can be unpredictable at times with the actual, like, the luck dependent. So, and we somehow got MVP, which stands for me. And as you can see about the fact that you can also check the status of whoever becomes the, you see that exclamation mark right there? That actually signifies that someone is actually an MVP. So as a result of that kind of stuff though, it's all depending on the forms of the status is actually got. Well, it's hard to explain because it's been a very long time since we played this game, as you already noticed by this point, so. And there we go, not only we can able to recruit Princess Peach at long last, but also we can now do some more stuff here and there, in not only in Peach Ice Garden, but also with the forms of Mario Stadium as well. Well, not all of these sections, mind you, because obviously we still need to recruit other characters, or specifically captains first, for, you know, prospective stadiums. So, either way, we've rescued Princess Peach, and I think something tells me there's going to be another character we can able to recruit after we able to recruit Princess Peach right there. And something tells me that, well, assuming if we're able to actually go ahead and skip any other text boxes here and there, and somehow Princess Daisy is now finally free from that particular statue spell, so that should be all good. Especially concerning with all that particular points worth noting for, that I think we do need to able to get another one of those items we can able to use until we able to get Daisy. So either way, Princess Peach is now in our team, so because of that, we now have the ability to able to switch captains. So, I can assure to you, unlike the forms of how it does it on Mario Superstar Baseball, that you can only select one captain in one playthrough, whilst in here though, this time around though, you can now able to actually have the ability to switch between those different captains at any point. So yeah, that's the reason why I do prefer this game over the likes of Mario Superstar Baseball in my opinion, probably because it has a lot of like, replay value to it. To be more specifically, the ability that we can able to actually switch between these captains at any point, and on top of all that stuff, there are more stages that we can able to discover and stuff like that. So as a result, as you can see, we stumbled across into a new playable character for the time, that's what appears to be Baby Peach. Which, as a result, she first appeared in Yoshi's Island DS. So as a result, yeah, it seems pretty cool to be able to have a baby counterpart of Peach as playable character in this, which as a result, that was after when Mario Kart Wii was a thing, and obviously about the fact that before she becomes playable again, until Mario Kart 8 / Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and even recently Mario Kart Tour, despite the fact that we still basically just rage quit on Mario Kart Tour sometimes because of all that bad controls and you name the rest of his stuff, so. Which reminds me about this, Mario, is about the fact that I'm curious to know what the next tours are going to be until next week. Well, we'll find out at the sake of time, Luigi, because obviously we're still on the forms at the beginning of June right now, so but either way though, chances are, time will tell. Although, relatively speaking though, is about the fact that we pretty much got about 19 days to go until Sonic Origins Plus will finally be releasing. So, but either way though, that might be something, as I suppose. So, yeah, we do apologize if our commentary is a bit tad bare bones at the moment at points. I mean, relatively speaking though, we've already explained quite a few bits here and there, especially with all the new DVD release schedules for the UK's release of certain films alike. And that's about it basically. So either way though, now we've basically unlocked Baby Peach as our teammate, and also we've unlocked her in the actual exhibition mode. So but either way though, yeah, that might be a sight to behold. So anyway though, in terms of everything else I could possibly explain, is that obviously, recently, that some of the Amigo Party Central actually got a release date, and as far as I'm aware, it's going to be releasing at some point on August, specifically August 29th of 2023, Although we've able to mention more details about that game, but I think we'll let both Sonic or Pac-Man were able to mention more details on that until whenever they go back to Sonic Frontiers, and especially noticeable with Pac-Man World Repack. So because of this though, not much else to talk about. So either way though, and something tells me that, yeah, in order to actually activate this flower part right there, which summons Pity Piranha, and basically we can able to use Princess Peach to obviously able to actually just go ahead and, well, challenge the forms of the next mission, which is of course Pity Piranha. And this is what the actual certain missions might feel a bit tricky at points. That's what appears to be hit all of those fields. And as a result, what you have to do in these missions like these ones, basically we need to hit the actual, the baseball at certain sides of the field. Like, for instance, we need to do this for about 3 times. And basically, we need to aim the one on the left. So, you know, think of like one of those Wii Sports baseball training segments, except the fact that with Mario characters, basically. And also, you can able to move in any direction at any point with your character movements and stuff like that. So, however, if you get fouled, then obviously it just doesn't count. So, yeah, you probably get the gist of it though, so, but either way. And I do remember in Mario Superstar Baseball that it does manage to have some lot of blocks and stuff like that during the course of any Peach's Castle stage, as far as I'm usually concerned with that stuff. So, yeah, you probably get the gist of it though, Mario, because obviously it's been quite a few days since we've last played Mario Superstar Baseball, because for whatever reason we're sort of used to with Mario Super Sluggers at this point, because obviously the controls are simple and easy to get a lot of grips with. But eventually though, the game will get a lot harder until specifically once we get to later stadiums to come. Well, presumably until whenever we get to the final match, because I would say the final match is easily the hardest thing about the forms of this game sometimes, so... Oh, can we get this? Nice. And what makes this a little bit cooler is that we somehow managed to able to do this on the first try. So either way though, no need for a second try or anything else like that. So this should be all good. So, anyway. Alright, speaking of Mario Kart Tour actually, is that somehow we managed to able to get ourselves not only Peach Mii Racing Suit for about 70 rupees spent, but also we somehow got ourselves the Daisy Mii Racing Suit recently to match the actual princess themed outfits for your Miis and stuff like that. The only one exception to this, that's what appears to be Rosalina, because obviously we still haven't got the Rosalina Mii Racing Suit so far. So, but either way though, hopefully we'll can eventually, but either way though, that'll be discussion for later. So, oh dear, so it looks like the fountain is now flooded again. So it looks like we need to get that special item in order to make it happen. So, but either way though, so just in case we can able to go back into that point at any time. So either way though, yeah, so it looks like about the fact that, well, relatively speaking, that the good news about this is though, is that we got a Toad statue. So yeah, because we technically already got that since in 3D forms of a couple of moments ago. So but either way though, that should be all good. And potentially we can now able to recruit Princess Daisy, so it should be all good, even though there are some more areas we can able to explore through, but of course we do need that one specific character we can able to get to this point. Something tells me we need Yoshi for this, so, but either way though, cause, yeah, something tells me about the fact that, well, obviously we've already got Blue Toad with us, so I think we should be all good when it comes to multicolored Toads, especially noticeable with Toadette and Toadsworth as well. So either way though, yeah, but then again though, we'll be back for Peach Ice Garden eventually for next weekend or something. So yeah, it sounds about right. So of course, like I said before, that before we end off the video right here, we need to go back to Mario Stadium for a little bit, because after all, now we've actually access to Peach as our playable captain on the actual challenge mode. But before we get into that though, there was one thing I honestly forgot to mention about during the course of the game so far. In order to save your game on challenge mode, you have to able to, well, pause the game and click on Save Progress, and that way you should able to save your game. Because otherwise though, I've almost had the exact same mistake as I had for not only with Pokemon Snap, but also with the forms of Sonic R as well. That basically though, if you dare reset your game, you lose your progress if you didn't save. So because of that though, keep that in mind because we've already learned that lesson ever since in Pokemon Snap, since in 2021. So as a result, yeah, thankfully at least we did somehow save the actual progress, as you can tell. So either way, so yeah, as you can see, we stumbled across into another new playable character in the Mario Baseball game. That's what appears to be Blooper. Which, kind of think about it, he does also appeared as a playable character in Mario Party 8. And he was also the unlockable character in that game. So, yeah, it seems kind of weird. They never seemed able to bring Blooper back as a playable character, since in forms of not only in Mario Party 8, but also in this game as well. So, I've honestly have no idea what's happening to him, so... But I digress. So, anywho though, there's also the last thing I want to mention while this is happening, is that basically, we got ourselves a final update for Sonic Triple Trouble 16-bit remake, which if you probably already know what that is though, because we already did that Let's Play of the game back in by the end of 2022. If you guys want to check it out, then you can. Basically, they do manage to bring in some tons of updates during the forms of that final update in Sonic Triple Trouble 16-bit fan-made game. Now as a result, in addition to that, Android version and Mac versions are already came out. So as a result, yeah, it seems pretty cool, all things considered. In terms of features-wise, when it comes to that particular update in mind, they do manage to bring some improvements here and there. Like, for instance, for example, they added in another new bonus stage, or anything else like that. It was cut from the international release, or something like that, or initial release. That basically is about the fact that in order able to... I think you do need to collect about 60 rings or something like that in order able to activate the third bonus stage or something like that. Where basically the new bonus stage will allows you to able to launch your character into the air in order able to collect those blue rings, as far as I'm concerned. And basically it's about the fact that you just have to avoid the cannons that were launching out of the actual... It's hard to explain really, but there's also another update they addressed, which appears to be buddy forms of Eggman and Metal Sonic became a part of Knuckles' endgame boss rush, with a boss battle specifically built around his climbing and gliding abilities for Knuckles' playthrough. Because of that though, I did not notice that was a thing. So that's obviously about the fact that we're not exactly sure when Mars will show those extras, or in some cases these tiny bits of extras at some form or another, but either way though, it seems interesting. And also the speed gates are now a new talkable feature that was now being addressed on specifically Act 2 or something like that, which you can able to activate a shortcut or something. And finally, most notably, is the forms of quality of life improvements, like the including of the ability to shorten or skip the snowboarding segment, or skip the credits, and the versus mode cutscenes. So as a result of that kind of stuff though, and also they added in 4 checkpoints in Atomic Destroyer's elevator ride, so you don't have to worry about trying to start all over again at the very beginning of that particular segment. So at the very least, that's very generous and all that stuff. So either way though, and as far as saying goes, I think that's as far as we can talk about for this point today. Although we've really liked able to mention something else for that matter though, but then again we'll let Sonic or Pac-Man will able to mention more details about this in a later time. So, but either way though, and hopefully we'll get our commentary get back on track at some form or another, because, well, it's been a very long while since we actually done some of my commentary, as you can tell. So, but either way though, with the Italian accent. So, anyways though, so I think we should probably end things off at this point right here. So join us next weekend for more of Let's Play of Mario Super Sluggers. Is that we're going to be moving on to the next stadium, which, as I said before, the next stadium we're going to be hop into is Yoshi Park. So that'll be fun. So we'll see you guys until next Saturday. Later, fellas.